orange. Other
things. I noticed you got the large size, so you got a free booster in there. What booster did you get?
This one also comes with combo booster. There's another one. I like Booster Juice. It's a good. I did not have time to make dinner, so I just went to Booster Juice.
It's like meal and a drink. Like a meal that is a drink.
It's a lot of fruit.
I had that for dinner too. I had a shake for dinner. I had
Booster Juice?
No, I made my own. I had banana, some peanut butter, some oats, and some cashew milk.
That sounds good.
You had peanut butter and oats together in a drink?
Blend them up.
Boil them, mash them.
Stick them in my stomach.
Stomach!
Yeah, because I'm no longer drinking milk now, so I'm just cutting everything.
What about the chocolate milk?
There's almond chocolate milk, so there's a replacement.
It's not
pretty
really
bad,
milk though.
I don't like that stuff.
I'm using it for like protein workout shakes. Once you blend it with everything, you don't know. It's like
why can they call it milk though? Shouldn't they call it like almond chocolate fluid?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think it's. I don't know. It's just like a supplement, right? Like it's like soy meat. It's not meat, but it's just like a replacement.
The juice of the seed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna call it almond juice, right? I think there's probably something to do with like the consistency and like the poignant taste. I don't know.
True. I don't know. My work, we sell like these nut milk bags, and I think just if you're
that sounds appetizing.
No.
Give me some of those nut milk bags.
Nut bag, Taylor. Hey, son, can you go to the back room and get me a fresh nut bag?
Nut bag right here, Dad.
I feel like if you were to milk an almond, it would take a goddamn day or something like that.
Yeah, but they have machines.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
We're a civilized race. We use machines to do the dirty work.
That's true.
Such as milking almonds.
Soon machines are going to replace us in this podcast.
Yeah. Pretty much. The hunka guys. They're probably some fucked up robot by Elon Musk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 201st episode of the GeekVerse podcast. We're past the 200 as well. I am the Dark Knight, Travis Snail. Shout out to the Dark Knight for watching this live. 10 years. 10 years ago, the greatest film piece of art was made. Go watch that movie. It still holds up. I just watched it last week. It is phenomenal. Fantastic. Shout out Heath Ledger. Shout out Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, the whole shebang, the whole crew. Thank you for giving us that glorious piece of
What are you talking about?
Dark Knight.
I'm a little salty that they're re-releasing it in theaters. So far, none less than Canada, so I'm pretty pissed about that.
They're re-releasing Big Lebowski in theaters as well, which I saw. That gets me jazzed.
Here?
I don't know. I didn't look at the locations,
theaters.
But that is one of my favorite movies of all time. I am the fabled fool, Dylan Musk. And to my right is...
I am the time to nut up or shut up, Taylor Field. Not because of the almond thing. It's because of, you get where I was going with it, right?
I think I'm left out. I don't know what the joke is.
You know.
I just thought it was the craziest nickname.
Zombieland. It's time to nut up or shut up. Woody Harrelson's line.
Shut up. Was that your Woody Harrelson voice? Do that again.
It's time to nut up or shut up.
Got your nut bag right here.
You got better the second time. Constant improvement.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give you, I want to give you a big shout out for, thank you for tuning into our 3-year anniversary episode. That was lots of fun. Go check that out.
That was fun.
Just a fun, casual episode. Thank you very much for subscribing or listening along. This long, that's my Woody Harrelson. This long, last week, I won't get into too much details, but we got some pretty good news about the podcast, and that's all because of the fans, all because of you guys. So thank you very much for your continued support. It is Comic-Con week, so this is the first newscast kicking off. There's lots of stuff, which I think there's 2 things that you guys didn't even know about that just dropped, so it's kind of cool. But tomorrow is when the panels really kick off.
He's finishing his thing.
Tomorrow is when the panel... He introduced himself!
I'm orchestrating this cast?
He introduced himself
No,
already.
that's not it.
He had his hand raised,
Okay.
which is, first of all,
Rewatch
a
the
weird
footage.
thing to do. But
Do you need to go before I run down?
I thought I'm going to shut up, but you go first.
No, you shut up.
It's
You
very
love your
important.
shut up.
it's so
very
important you have to raise your hand.
I thought you were going to stop, but then you kept going.
No, there's a lot. We got lots of content dropping this week.
Then you got to go with that first. Go prioritize that, and then I'll follow up after.
So in honor of Comic-Con week, like we've done the past 2 years, we have a podcast dropping every single day of the week. Monday, we dropped our 2nd annual superhero draft. We may or may not have somebody that's already got points. We have to discuss it because there was a controversial thing that happened that we let someone pick someone that was kind of cast in the beginning of June, and we just kind of overlooked that. So we have to discuss it off cast. So stay tuned to that. But go check out that episode. The Hunka Hunka Boys are officially back. Unfortunately, they're here.
We tried to keep them off, but the lawyers were not strong enough.
Contracts suck, man. You know, common law contracts. You know, they can just tie you down.
Fuck.
So yeah, they're back. They're talking about why Marvel apparently is not at Comic-Con. They have some theories about them and keeping them out of
Crazy theories.
keeping DC out of
That's not how they do it.
theaters. They even got a sponsor somehow.
How did they get a sponsor before we have an official
I don't know.
sponsor?
It's kind
Who's
of
their sponsor?
You have to go watch.
You have to watch to find out. And I can't shout out because they're not our sponsor. So, but they have a sponsor. We also dropped the second episode of Wolf Hard, Work Hard. It is, it is a documentary series. So this was filmed months ago. So if you're wondering if you've watched about the ending, what happened, it happened because it was months ago. So we've resolved it. That's why you gotta stay tuned.
4 letters, PTSD. That's what I'm gonna say.
Wow.
It was intense.
Okay.
That's a real thing that
yeah.
people struggle with, Taylor.
that's we're going there live, GeekVerse live. But yeah, you got vlogs up there. You got some fun stuff. There's Dave Attenborough in there.
Attenborough?
Yeah. Whatever.
Attenborough.
And today is the 1 of 4 newscasts, and then tomorrow we have a panel. We got Predator, and what else is happening tomorrow? Marvel TV.
Predator, yeah. So Daredevil, Iron Fist.
Yeah, hopefully Daredevil. Right now it's just Iron Fist, but they dropped some good stuff. Friday's Bumblebee and
Bumblebee, Halloween, and
Venom.
Yeah.
And then Saturday is
DC, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and
Taylor's fucking
Shazam.
on it today.
Because he's making the.
I didn't
he's
know
making
a
sick
single
thumbnails.
Yeah.
And then also Warner Brothers panel as well. So you have like Fantastic Beasts, Godzilla 2.
Oh,
So
Fantastic Beasts. Get me in there, Grindy.
and then finally on Sunday, Blade 2, our retrospective is dropping. You can go to Patreon and get that early right now, but if not, wait until Sunday. And then also, if you go to Patreon right now, not right now, tomorrow, Blade 3 will be up there. So you go to Patreon for $1, you can get 2 for the price of 1. A shout out to DH Hansen, you support us. We got a new Patreon. So thank you very much for that. She's going to give us our question at some point. I already talked to her, so we're going to figure that out. So big shout out to you. So thank you to all the fans that support us. I'm excited to get this newscast. So let's start. No, I'm joking. Wow, he's like a fucking preacher. And Jesus will hear.
It's one of those casts, is it?
Oh yeah, kick off Comic-Con.
Hot off a Blade Trinity retro, we're just amped.
Yeah.
So I have to shout this out. I looked at the release date for this, and I thought it was actually gonna come out like in 2019. Sure enough, to my surprise,
oh my god,
it's coming out. It came out today. So expect it, tonight, tomorrow night. I'm gonna get this pumped out. There's so much other content coming out it's fine. If you don't watch it, you miss it. It's fine. It's coming out regardless. It's gonna be up. The Godzilla anime, the second one, has finally come out.
Finally, the much anticipated.
I think Kirkland is my biggest fan. Huge shouts to Kirkland. He just in the chat, he's like, if you put it out there, I'll listen to it. I'm working. I'm like, so I gotta do it now. He loves the Godzilla review I did on Netflix. So this is a fantastic series. I can't wait to watch and review it. It had a major cliffhanger, 110% this time.
I don't believe you.
No, Godzilla 1 and Dave's like, it's a cliffhanger!
But yeah, I'm super pumped.
Is that a Netflix show?
Yeah, Netflix anime.
So apparently we have lots of content dropping this weekend. So that's why you should go subscribe to our podcast and video feeds because you're getting a lot of good content. And plus, I will probably be doing some trailer reactions to stuff. And lots of times there's just random stuff that drops at Comic-Con. So these are our plans, but if there's a quick video we might do for news. And then Saturday it's tentative, but we might be streaming some Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So we're figuring that out. But so stay tuned to the YouTube and Twitch. Should we get into the news?
Please. Give me the news.
Yeah, so let's start off because this news just dropped today, but the origin of it dropped last week, and it's the title of the podcast, so we're going to start with that. Joaquin Phoenix is officially the Joker. This movie is officially greenlight. I can tell you that today, it's not rumored, it's coming out October 2019, and it's just called Joker. So that's this movie now is officially happening. There's no more rumor. We have our star. And for months, he was like, oh, no, I don't know anything about that. So we have Joaquin, we have a title, we have a release date, and that's just over a year away. Because we're in, so August, September, October. So that's a year and 3 months.
Isn't Joaquin Phoenix that X-Men movie?
No.
What's that one called?
What X-Men movie?
Isn't there an X-Men movie coming out?
Called Joaquin Phoenix?
No, it has Phoenix in its name or something, isn't it?
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that's okay. There you go.
Yeah.
He is a real person. Dark Phoenix is a character. That doesn't mean he would be.
Well, Dark Phoenix is a character.
It's called X-Men Dark Phoenix.
You know who Jean Grey is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the Dark Phoenix.
Was it actually?
Have you seen X-Men 3?
Oh, a long time ago.
Oh.
A long
No,
time
Joaquin
ago.
Phoenix is not playing Jean Grey in the newest X-Men.
That would be cool.
And Joaquin Phoenix is associated with Joker then.
He's
oh
playing,
my god, do you not listen to what he just said?
He's playing the Joker
Trying
in
to
the
connect those dots.
standalone.
There's no relation between the X-Men.
Oh, that's
Okay.
the name of the
Apparently, I need
actor.
to give a full rundown. The movie is called Joker. It is coming out October
This is a
2019.
DC movie.
It's a DC movie. The rumor is at Comic-Con they might drop the official brand. They might call it like Elseworld or DC Dark. So they're going to establish that this is different from the connected universe. It has a budget of $55 million, so only 15 more than Deadpool. So they're keeping it low budget, and they're shooting it. The rumor is still that Martin Scorsese is producing it.
Cool.
They got Todd Phillips. So yeah, this is officially happening. I'm going to throw it to Dylan because Taylor still doesn't know what's going on. They are looking also at Frances McDormand to play the Joker's mother,
Ooh.
who she passed, but still, she just won an Academy Award. And there's a rumor that Robert De Niro's in this movie. And yeah, there's also a rumor that Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, is in this movie. So there's a lot going on with this movie, and it's happening. It's one of those, because of DC, you never know, but now that they're starting production in a few months, so it's happening. We're getting our first, like, I don't know, weird spin-off thing in this type of, continuity of films, so.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. This is something we talked about. We talked about it before, probably a few months ago, how DC, maybe this is a good path for them. Like, scrap the whole cinematic universe, because clearly they're having a lot of problems with that, and just make one-off movies. You can do whatever you want with them. It doesn't have to be connected. And I think it's really cool that they're doing this, even though they still have, they already have one Joker right now. Who is he announced to be in anything that's actually?
Well, no, nothing's announced. He was all in rumor stuff of they might do a Joker movie with him. They might do him in a Harley Quinn movie. But remember, he's playing Morbius now, so that might be kiboshed for Joker. That his Joker's up in the air.
Yeah. No, I think this is a really cool idea, and I hope that they kind of go a different direction with it, and kind of because Marvel very much has a formula to their movies, and they kind of have like similar pacing, and they feel very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And DC movies, they still feel similar, but they're a little more out there. So I'm hoping that this is very just character driven, and don't worry about like doing any actions. You don't need to have a single action scene in this entire movie, and I'd be totally okay with that. Just have it all about the character and his backstory. I'd love to see a different take on that for sure. The casting, I mean, I don't know him. I haven't seen a ton of his movies. I've seen a couple, and he's good. I mean, I don't have. It's not like getting me super excited that he's cast as it, but I think because I think you, Travis, in our chat, you linked like an interview with him as well. And
Yeah.
I read through that, and it seems like he has a very like humble perspective on it, and he's excited to do something different and like hop in the Marvel, or not the Marvel, but the comic book film realm.
Already he's planning to jump ship.
Yeah. That's his plan. Sneak in through DC, and before you know it, boom, he's your next Iron Man.
Well, I think I've told you this before, but for reviewers, he was Marvel's first choice to play Doctor Strange, but he passed because they said, "Oh, you got to do 3 movies." He's like, "No," and this sounds perfect for him because this, I think, will be a one and done. I will be excited to see if this movie is critically great, and it's easy to be a box office success because it's only $55 million. So even if this movie it's very much like a Get Out. If it comes out just as well, they'll make a profit. But if this comes out and is huge, I do wonder, one, I think we'll get more movies like this, but I do wonder what happens with the Batman movie and this.
Yeah.
And if he has a good time, like, I know right now they're saying this is a one and done, but money talks, so it'll be interesting. And I think the rumor is though still
that could be risky, because if they open that doorway and okay, we're just gonna bring him into one Batman movie, then it what if is that our Batman that we already have in the other universe? Because then you're kind of connecting those, and now you have 2 Jokers. That would be confusing. I mean, I guess if they have a whole new Batman, then that would work fine. But still, like, that is gonna get confusing, especially for the casual people, the people who don't follow these like updates. They won't hear about this for a few months or even another year, Now, because that Morbius news, though, does it get confusing if Jared Leto no longer plays the Joker? Because I think it's really easy to say, hey, why is this guy a Joker? And let's say from now, a year and 3 months, Jared Leto goes, hey, I'm just not in DC anymore. It's really easy to say, yeah, they don't have a Joker anymore. This is the new Joker, right? It's going to be weird with the timelines, but I always equate this to, at one point, it was weird for an audience to sit
at Marvel and for the end credits, right? It was like, what do you mean I gotta stay? There's the scene after. Why do you do that? Now everybody stays. I think this is like the Pandora's box that hopefully, our mums will be like, why is there 8 Jokers? But eventually they'll be like, hey, different Joker, this different actor, different time. Because the rumor is this movie takes place in the 80s as well. So it's like they're really I think that's smart to make it really different. To make it seem really like, oh, you're not going to confuse this because you won't see a cell phone, you won't see anything like that. So.
No, I think this is a great idea for them,
and by the way, this news came out originally 10 months ago. I checked our YouTube one. This one that was announced that they were doing it was rumored that was a standalone Joker. So it's almost been a year since we've been talking about this. So
so they got stuff in the works, clearly on the back burner.
Taylor, who just
do you understand the situation now?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Thank you.
And how does it make you feel?
I don't know. I definitely feel like I'm on point with it being kind of like, you have so many different Jokers and so many different takes, like it can get a bit confusing for the generic moviegoer out there and a little overwhelming. But then again, like if you say it's like in the 80s and that sort of stuff, I mean, I think it seems pretty enticing, and I think I'm pretty excited for it.
Do you have any experience with Joaquin Phoenix?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I don't.
Okay.
So his first name is Joaquin.
Joaquin.
It's spelled Joaquin.
Really?
That's the one.
And then Phoenix as in the firebird.
That is actually very cool. So
I don't think it's his real name,
but sounds pretty fake.
Yeah, but pretty cool. So
nice try.
I know I'm excited for this. I think this will be the 1, 2, 3, like the 4th iteration of Joker that we've gotten so far.
If you want to count Mark Hamill, which a lot of people do, I guess and Caesar. So Caesar, Mark, Jack, Heath, Jared. This would be the 6th. Is it Batman 66? Right. Yeah. So this would technically be the 6th Joker, and this I'll ask because you and I talked about this off cast. I'll ask Dylan as well. So the movie's called Joker. How much of the actual Joker is in this movie and not just, let's say his name's Jack Napier or something like that? Like, how much is green hair, white makeup, or white bleached skin? Because my theory is, I think it's like 40%. I think he had the first act of the movie where he's a normal guy, something happens in the middle where maybe he's turned, but I think it's like, if it's 2 hours, maybe he has 35 to 40 minutes. Like,
do you think the Joker look is going to be by choice or by, like, chemical spill? Because I feel like this movie is probably more based in like a realism, and but I don't know. Do they want to go down that route where Dark Knight, where it's like he just painted his face?
That's a problem. If they didn't do that,
it depends on the style though.
Yeah,
as well.
If they didn't do that with Heath, then I'd say, oh, you do the makeup. But then at the same point, if they're doing like a gritty, realistic thing, a guy falling into some chemicals is not that realistic and coming out being like.
But you don't need it to be like super animated. You could still have him just fall in some chemicals and like. Maybe his face isn't even fully like that bleached white. It's just like parts of it or something. I don't know. A lot of things they could do with it for sure.
But yeah, I'm thinking 40%. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a full on like.
It's hard to say because if they only plan to do one movie, you have to wonder how much of this is gonna be like the origin story aspect of it.
Well, it's marketed as Joker origin movie. Like I'm trying to find, they've released a plot synopsis I sent you guys, but all the reports are Joker origin movie. So I'm trying to. Okay, this is what they officially put out. It's gonna be more experimental in tone and content. It'll be an exploration of a man discarded by society that is not only a gritty character study, but it's also a broader cautionary tale. That is the plot synopsis, or just like the tonal piece of this. So that's why for me, because my question is like, so it's called Joker. Everyone's gonna be expecting this, and I think this is a big risk. Do we see a picture of him as the Joker even before this movie before the movie comes out? That's my thing. Like, do they hold that? Like, for me, the marketing's gonna be really interesting.
Maybe like the last trailer for like a quick scene, you know.
How much does he last?
I don't know. I think they'll pull like a Venom kind of thing, similar to the way you
build up to it.
Yeah, so the trailers.
So just like one shot, sort of.
So then, what's your percentage of how much Joker, disfigured, whatever he is, whether he's makeup or whether it's bleach? What do you think?
I think it's anywhere between like 30 to 40%.
Okay, fair. I thought you were gonna be like 30 to 80. I thought you were gonna like eyeball you bastard. Wow. Okay, so you think the lower side too? That's like okay. And what about you?
I think you guys are pretty on it, so I'm gonna go right in the middle, clean 35. No, I'll go more. No, I'll go less. I'm gonna go 25. I'm
Okay.
gonna go down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to a clean quarter.
I could see it because I think in the very similar vein of like Logan, where like okay there are some action scenes in Logan, but most time it's about him interacting with Xavier and X-23, right? It's not about him kicking ass as Wolverine. So watch it just come out and he's like the movie starts with him as the fucking Joker, but yeah,
I'm probably wondering how I ended up.
yeah, probably wondering how I got these scars. Do you have
Start
anything
singing some Johnny Cash.
to add on this?
Nope, I'm stoked.
Yeah, so for me,
Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
I just want to say, like, all of this sounds great,
Mhm.
but also a lot of things in the DCEU have sounded great and not turned out. So still, I mean, even though you have some good names behind it, I don't know. I'm still cautious at this point.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the only reason why I'm very optimistic about it is this sounds very similar to Deadpool. When Deadpool, this test screen footage got out, it leaked, and then they started to do the movie. And the reason they gave them such a low budget is because they thought the movie was not going to do well. So they said, well, let's do this movie, let's see. And if it's a success, great. If not, then whatever, we tried. And I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like they're kind of doing that. When I heard 55 million, those are like, it doesn't sound small, but nowadays those are small for like comic book movies. You know, like the only ones that have done that recently are Deadpool and Logan. Both were successes. So I think they saw that. And I hope that they're going to be like, okay, let's just let these people do it, and let's just try to have faith in the producers, the writers, and the director. And I'm not sure if any of you have seen The Fighter with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg, the person that wrote that. I love that movie. He's writing this. And I hope they just go, hey, go make this movie, see what happens, and go from there. Because the thing is, comic movies are already like taking over the world, but I think there are, we've talked about like people like a Ryan Gosling. Like I think if this movie hits, you could have now a bunch of movies, and maybe Marvel will do the same thing eventually, but you could have a bunch of movies that now people that would never do a comic book film would maybe think about doing it if it's just like, hey, I'll come in to do one. Like, let's say this is just a one and done. Walking does it. He's like, yeah, even though everyone loved it, I'm great. Like, I just want to do the Joker once. That's it for me.
Yeah.
And if they want to do that, I could
It's a cool
see
doorway to open.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. I'm choosing to be optimistic, but yeah, DC has a...
Well, I mean, Joker is one of your, if not, like, favorite, fictional characters of all time. So how could you not be excited, right?
I wasn't that excited for Squad, you know. So if I see some tattoos...
They set up for failure.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add is Joaquin. He's a phenomenal actor. And I didn't talk much about this when he was rumored, because at one point Leo was rumored, so I didn't want to talk much because of, like, who knows who's going to happen. But he's a very talented actor. I'm very excited to see his take. You should watch Her. That's my favorite film he's done. The Master's a good one. He just put out a film recently. I can't remember what it is, but I hear it's pretty good. Signs he was in. Gladiator. So he's a really good actor, and I think he could have a good take. And I think it is a lot of pressure off him not being the Joker the whole movie as well. Like the first half of this movie, I think he's going to play like a guy down his luck, maybe a little disturbed, which will be Joker-like, but I don't think you have to be full-on laughing and stuff. Like,
yeah, do you think this is an R-rated movie?
that's the question, because that's DC really having the balls, you know? Because
they're essentially just copying Logan.
Pretty much, and why not? You know,
Why
like
not?
it worked. I think so with the director, who is he also did Hangover and Old School. He's only done R-rated films, and you have Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that is a different R-rated film though, right? Because that's more based on like the humor of it and like drugs and shit like that.
I'm gonna say yes, because I think to get an actor like Joaquin Phoenix, that's how they pitched it. I think they say you're not gonna have any limit. So if you want to say fuck, if you want to pitch a scene that's really disturbing, we can do that, because they might not go in saying we're going to make this R, but it's going to be, they said that with Logan, that they just made the movie, and whatever got rated, that's what was going to be rated. I think that's
maybe I'm overthinking it. They probably don't think about that stuff as much when they're making the movie.
Well, I think you're 100% right with comic book movies they have. Like, I think Justice League...
But now the door's been open with Deadpool and Logan.
Yeah. I think it's not that they're the same company, but I think once Venom gets a rating, I'll be interested too, because that's another studio, right? So right now it's only been Fox that's done it, but if Venom's also rated R and that's a hit, then they could say, well, just do it. So, Taylor, you think it'll be rated R or anything?
I hope it is. I
Yeah,
think it
me
would
too.
suit it very well. One thing I just want to kind of just throw out onto what you said about it being 55 million. I think that shows that they put a lot more faith into the people writing it, and they're relying on a very good story.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks a lot more than the money.
I'm going to ask this question because everyone asks this question. It's a popular online thing. I think it's stupid, but it's worth asking. It's a solid no. Do you see Batman in this movie? Because that's been every Reddit there, this movie, will Batman appear? And yours, no?
He won't.
Okay, don't.
Maybe I don't think you'll see him on screen. Maybe a mention or maybe like some reference.
Yeah. Okay.
But it depends if Thomas Wayne is still alive. I mean, why would they?
Maybe he
hint at
kills
Batman?
Thomas Wayne. I don't know.
Well, then Bruce is still too young, I think.
Yeah, it's just people. It's gonna be the natural question, right? Is Batman gonna be in the Joker movie, right? Because anytime Batman gets made, it's like, well, is Joker gonna be in that movie? So,
They're a pretty well-known couple, those two.
I think, as far as I don't know the two's relationship as well as you do, but I feel like with the two, I feel like if you start like from an origin standpoint, the two characters, Batman and Joker, are very separate and very much in their own world, and then after they've both been created, then they have their huge relationship.
It's
and everything.
50-50. It all depends on the comic, because in some comics, Batman accidentally knocking this guy in the vat of chemicals is the problem, right? And then other times it's all over. That's why some people...
Well, that's why Dark Knight's interesting, because there is a lot of mystery tied to the character's past.
Well, that's why I asked you, because that's the other thing people bring up, that they say that this film's not going to do good because it's an origin movie. But for me, that could happen, but for me, when people go, I don't need a Joker origin movie, then my response is just, then don't watch this movie. You know, people act like it's never happened. The killing jokes that in the original Batman '89, they show the first half an hour is about how Jack Nicholson becomes a Joker, and everyone just goes, oh, you can't do. I think that's because the Dark Knight's so popular, and people go, oh, because of the mystery. I like that, but we've had that, and like if this is like a new take on the character, then to me it's like. Yeah. The worst is it sucks and we move along.
If this is the first Joker movie, or the first for this Joker, and like in this movie he's going to be up against Batman, I think doing an origin story, like a full origin story as well, is probably a bit too much, even though I'm guessing what you just mentioned, they did that as well with the Jack Nicholson one.
It's the classic, he gets knocked in the chemicals, and then he's
whereas this origin story is just developing the character, really. It's just like, that's just kind of the term we use for comic book movies, really, but I don't know. I think if it's more just like story based, then it's really just explaining the character's life.
That makes me think
different.
That makes me think we are gonna get the makeup now. The more we've talked about it, like, because he needs some reason going to a vat of chemicals, and I could just see him putting on makeup a lot more easier. So yeah, true. Taylor, you have anything else more to add?
No, that's it.
I will start with this because do you have to leave it at any point or something?
Soon.
Okay, then we'll do some news that you can have more to contribute to, because
people are showing up halfway through cast.
Yeah, what is this?
Faster. Well, let's talk about this because I think you have the most to say out of anybody. They're doing another Robocop. Dylan, you've not seen any Robocops, correct?
You're correct.
Yeah. They're doing another Robocop, but I can have a different question that I'll throw to Dylan in a second. They're doing a movie called Robocop Returns. Please change the title.
Sick title.
Neil Blomkamp's going to be directing that. He directed District 9, he directed Chappie, Elysium, he almost directed the newest Alien. But the biggest thing is, and this is what I'll throw it down after, you can talk about this because you were ranting in the crew group, is this is a sequel that's going to ignore, like the other Terminator, Halloween. This is going to ignore all the other Robocop sequels, and it's taking place right after Robocop 1. So, big popular trend going on right now. We've not seen it successful because Halloween has not come out yet. This is the movie the first one that's coming out in October that's ignoring them all. So I think it's going to be fine, but still. Taylor, you go off because you're very excited by this news, obviously.
How many is there?
I think there's 4.
Is there 3?
Because there's 3 OG ones,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
And
not
then
counting the remake.
The one remake.
Yeah, so there's the first one
and that are
2
like
sequels.
one story?
Yeah.
Same character?
Yeah.
I saw the original 3 like a long time ago, and I haven't watched them for a while. But like it's something I definitely want. I want to get back and rewatch them because it's something that I've always wanted to.
I don't even. This movie's not coming out until 2020, so we got time.
We got time.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the new one. I loved it. I love Michael Keaton in it. I love Gary Oldman in it. They were great. Samuel Jackson. Like there's so many good actors. Yeah. So. I think it was fantastic. I had the DVD, Blu-ray, digital copy version of it.
He had to send us a picture of it in the crew. The problem with the remake was the first movie is about. Dylan, do you know what Robocop is?
Not really.
Okay,
I mean, other than the title.
A cop is on a job. He gets like pretty much mutilated. They put him in a robot's body, and he's like a Robocop. But it's the movie it's radar, so it's known for its high violence, but it's also a big discussion point on society and what we're becoming and relying on technology and stuff like that. That was my problem with the remake. Is the remake is just like, hey, let's shoot motherfuckers. You know, like they kind of lose all the like nuance, and a lot of other people feel that way, and that's why maybe you're a fan of Blomkamp directing.
Well, I am. Like Blomkamp, I find his movies to have such good messages embedded in them. Like I love Chappie, and I love the kind of what is displayed throughout that film, the two huge sides of humanity, and really I love District 9. That's one of my favorite movies.
Fantastic movie.
It's so good. Elysium I just watched not too long ago. It's probably it's good, but I'd probably put it like third out of the 3.
You probably put it third. Like, what other number are you gonna give it?
I like
the other 2 movies.
I like the story. Like, visually, Blomkamp's films they deliver. They're so good, and I love how he delivers with his robots and just how they look. I love the robots, so I'm super excited to see exactly the tech that he displays in this movie and just how visually stunning it's gonna be. But I've wanted him. There's so many movies that I've wanted him to be able to direct. Like, I wanted him to get that Alien movie so badly. I wanted him to get the Halo movie underway. But I'll definitely take RoboCop. I was definitely surprised when he shared in the chat, like, oh wow, Neil, you're doing it. So
wow. Are you a fan of the original 3 tracks?
The first, I'd have to again watch them. I just remember the first one being a lot better than the other ones. It's kind of the same thing. The second one's kind of get into this more action-oriented sort of world. And isn't one of them PG-13 one of the sequels?
I think so.
Yeah, and that was a big thing because it's like the franchise is known for like hard violence, and then when PG-13 happens, you're like, whoa. So
it's like Deadpool 3 going to PG-13.
Yeah, it's something like
Possible
that.
world.
Well, yeah, in 5 years.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for me, Neil, I've not seen Chappie. District 9, fantastic movie. Elysium, I'd have to watch again. It was alright. But as far as the public, they were not the biggest fan of Chappie. And I think that, I said this to Taylor, he really needs a hit. As far as a choice, I think he's a good call because he does movies that ask questions. And Robocop, the original, did that. So it's not that when you said it's a match made in heaven, I don't go that far. Like, there's other directors that'd be like, oh, I love that this person did it. But I'm not like, oh, that's an awful choice. Like, I think this could be a unique choice, but I think he also needs this to hit well, because if this hits well, you may get him to do that Alien movie, because I don't know if they're doing any more Alien Covenant Prometheus stuff. So yeah, I guess what more, and then I'll throw it down. I guess I'm more intrigued about this idea, and I one day want us, when we have no news, to think of games or franchises or movies, TV shows where we could do like the start a new season, just ignore everything, because that's the trend right now. Like, to me, it was like cinematic universes. Oh, those aren't working. Now the new trend is like this. Terminator's coming out in next year. Halloween's coming out later this year. This new trend of we're just doing a sequel to the first movie. And what do you think about that, Mr. Musk? Because I know you don't have much on Robocop, but
yeah, well,
it's a big trend going on right now.
Yeah, it's a trend that is still in development, right? So it's hard to say for sure. And I mean, I don't really even have much attachment with most of those movies anyway. Like, I've seen a couple of the Terminators, and I haven't seen any of the Halloweens yet. So I don't know. It's hard to say like if it's a good idea. I think it's. I mean, I think off the top of my head, the reason they're doing it is because, a lot of people would say they're like fans of these series. Well, like, they've always seen the first, but then, naturally, as most things go, you're gonna have less and less people as it goes on, especially when Halloween's up to, like, 13 movies? 11 movies?
11 movies, yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, people are gonna lose track. People have no idea what's going on. We've talked about it many times, and I still couldn't tell you, like, how many of them are in the same storyline or whatnot. It's hard to keep track. So, I don't know. I think this is interesting. I haven't seen Robocop, so I don't know if it's necessarily a good fit for that. But, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this trend works out. And I guess it's just a way to pull people back in. Like, hey, you remember that first movie that you loved so much? Well,
a sequel to the original Robocop.
Because our other ones sucked, I guess.
I guess for me...
It's a different landscape, though, because the people who were making those movies back then aren't making them. They're not making the second one again now, right?
They're writing it. The guys that wrote the first RoboCop are writing this one, so they bring some of the original team back.
That's not the case for the Terminator and Halloween and stuff, right?
Terminator, the original director was kind of producing it, but I wouldn't say as much hands-on. And Halloween...
So did those guys who wrote Robocop 1, did they write Robocop 2 as well?
They wrote Robocop 2. And
now they're writing another... That seems weird.
No, they didn't write the one that came out. They wrote Robocop 2, a writer's strike happened, and that script got scrapped, so then a new Robocop was happened. The original Robocop 2 had a reality star become president. And apparently someone was going through their files and saw Robocop 2, they read it, and because the Trump stuff, they're like... And they read the script, like, this seems really topical, and that's how this is getting made now. So it's a new director.
Wait, that was recent? When did Robocop 2 come out?
No, Robocop 2 came out in the 80s. But
so you're saying the new script is that one that you just
yeah, because that was the OG script they planned to film, and they didn't film it because of the writer's strike. And then, so they looked down there, and there's like a lot of parallels to today. So like, well,
I like that actually.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned that the writers got cut out of the second one, it'll be interesting to see how that. I mean, I haven't seen the first one, but I think that's in this case for this particular movie. I like that they're doing it. Whereas I don't know how big a fan I am of that trend. Like generally, I will have to see how these movies turn out and what other series decide to try it out.
Well, this is what I will pose to you as so a studio goes to go, hey, we want to make another Halloween. What would you rather? Because this is for me, I go back and forth. What would you rather have them go, hey, we're gonna cut these sequels and make a new sequel, or we're just gonna reboot it? Because I think it's much easier for them just to do a new sequel because a reboot. Like not Michael Myers, but other ones you got to recast, you got to redo.
I think naturally. I think that strategy is going to bring more people in. I just think it's maybe a bit disingenuous because it's kind of like, oh yeah, fuck the people who made the second one. That was a shit movie. We're going to make a new one that's even better and replace that one. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to create some hard feelings between some people. I don't know. I don't really care. It's hard for me to relate too much since I don't have much of an attachment to any of these movies that it's happening to. It's certainly an interesting strategy, though. I
guess the reason I like it is because like I'm a big fan of I guess kind of like what we're talking about the Joker movie of comic books that do like what if stories, and I like this that okay they're ignoring these other movies, but they still exist, they're still out there, people are still making money. This is like a what if Michael Myers was locked up for 40 years, like what if Robocop returned, like I kind of like that these are movies that those other movies exist, but this is a what if scenario, and we play things a little differently. And
I think it will be a bit confusing for some people. Like I can just picture the conversation right now when my parents are like, "Oh, so what new movies are coming up?" A classic thing they ask me, and I'll say, "Oh, so we're gonna go see Halloween 2. It's a sequel to the first Halloween." All the other Halloweens, and they're probably like, "That's fucking stupid. Why are they doing that?"
Well, cheap plug. We're doing Halloween Retro. That's starting very soon, so check that out. One thing that's bugging me with Halloween, they've yet to give that a subtitle. It's still just called Halloween. Maybe that's gonna happen this week at Comic-Con, but it's
risky.
That's
not very telling of what you're doing.
Especially though if it's a sequel.
I don't think there's any brief way to explain what they're doing though.
Well, if there is a sequel, if it's a sequel to the original Halloween, then if you look at it, then it's Halloween. No, it's Halloween.
Wait, what? No?
Sorry, say that again? So this new movie coming out in October is just called Halloween, right?
Yeah.
And if it's supposedly a sequel to the movie, the very first movie from the 70s, 80s called Halloween, that'd mean chronological order. If you're watching them, it's Halloween, and then you'd watch Halloween. Because they've not added subtitles to movies on Halloween 2. It's just they're kind of doing like the reboot thing of like it's Halloween, but it's still like a sequel. So I'm hoping for a subtitle here soon.
I think you need a subtitle. I don't think there's a nice way to finesse through saying that this is a sequel, but we're discounting 10 other movies. Very strange.
I'm very excited. I think one day we should do that cast of movies that are, our TV
That's an idea. Write it down in the GeekVerse book.
Ideas.
Great ideas.
Yeah. Taylor, you got any more to add?
Nope. I'm excited.
Let's talk about our favorite director on the block, J.J. Abrams. He's producing another movie. Yeah. He is producing Overload.
Overlord.
I keep
share the Overlord.
I like the idea of this movie. Did not like the trailer because I thought the tone was all over. I felt at times they were going for really serious body horror. Oh, what are they doing? Experimenting on? And then you have AC/DC, which I like. I am a fan of. But it was very much like action, like boom, boom, like what's going on? Like it felt like a little bro-y at times. And I'm fine if they want to go that direction. But then they go from serious to actiony, and then the end of the trailer is him back at the wall. Like, what are they doing? It's really spooky and scary. So maybe you can pull off that tone, the mix of them well. Movies have done that before. It's just hard to do, pulling off something almost kind of comedic horror and then body horror, scary horror. So I like the idea of the movie. I'm interested in it. I think I'm not opposed to seeing this, but the trailer for me, I was a little off-put. I didn't think it was the greatest trailer. So I want to know what this movie is. Is it that bro action movie, or is it the zombie one?
I agree 100% with what you said. So I will add nothing and throw it to Taylor.
What about that AC/DC song done? Loved it, right?
I don't like AC/DC.
Check out After 9.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I am more than thrilled for this movie.
More than thrilled.
I absolutely love.
What is more than thrilled?
More than thrilled is ecstatic.
Why couldn't you just say I'm ecstatic about this?
Leave the
movie?
mystery there, you know.
But you revealed
Sorry.
the trick.
Well, he asked, so I
ruined it.
delivered.
A magician never reveals his tricks, Taylor. You know
If
that.
I was a magician, then I
You
would
are a
not
magician.
Reveal. Am
An oral magician.
I? Oral magician.
Yeah. Like,
Can
That
like
could
things
be
disappear in
taken.
his mouth?
Yikes.
Abracadabra.
So this
Almond milk.
movie,
Cashew milk, by the way.
I'm sorry.
this
He's not pulling out just rounds out of his hat.
this movie, I think, I really love the whole idea with Nazis and zombies thrown into the
Nazis.
mix.
He had to
You
Brad
sound like
Pitt
Aldo
it, eh?
Rain.
Yeah.
I had to what?
He had to Brad Pitt it, eh?
Brad Pitt it?
Nazis.
Aldo Rain.
Nazis.
Yeah.
Nazis.
And
Yeah.
got some Nazis.
Nazis.
I like that we both throw out like the name of the actor and the character.
Very
but
descriptive.
Still couldn't put two and two.
Glorious Bastards.
Tarantino.
But yeah,
Tarantino.
I really enjoy, you know, like going back to like Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies or just like World War Zombies.
Going
Just,
back.
Your trailer.
it's so fantastic, absolutely amazing, and it just the storyline that they get into with that just throwing into this like a feature film kind of vibe. Just I love how it starts out. It just felt so.
So you love what we didn't like this.
Yeah, I love that it was serious and just visually it was so incredible when he falls out of the plane and there's so much action. It's like all this action is like too much action for my action level and I love it. It's like
action.
I really like it. I love seeing all the ships, all the planes. Like this is what I love in a war movie. Like I'm not gonna go. I thought of a joke like of calling it Dunkirk 2, but I thought I'm not gonna call it Dunkirk 2.
No, you
But,
should.
Yeah, you tried it. Didn't work. Next time.
Yeah. So it felt so serious and so intense, and then once that music kicked in and stuff, I thought okay, then it goes from serious to this action packed just vibe-esque movie, and I love the feel of that, especially World War II. It just gave it this action kind of feel. Really enjoying it, and then immediately it cut to the tense suspense of fear and the unknown of what's going on, and I love that. I got totally sucked into that, and I feel like it was a good way to not totally transition to completely being horror and scary and fear, because I feel like the movie isn't all about that. It will have huge moments that incorporate that fear, but I feel like it did a good transition and go back to its roots of being like an action-packed, fun time at the same time for a zombie movie where it shows like the Nazis and it has the AC/DC music. I just thought for me it bounced all.
Yeah, see, completely
very,
disagree.
very well.
I felt the trailer, it was a hard cut to like AC/DC, then it's like, oh, and it's scary again. I felt it didn't
I
transition
loved it.
at
I
all.
love when it showed the actress with the flamethrower and then the Nazi scientist standing there. I just felt like, hey, this is just cool. I feel like I'm playing Black Ops, and I activate all the teddy bears. I got the rock music playing, and I'm just killing zombies. I felt like this is great.
But see, that's what you do. You play the rock music. Call of Duty Zombies, I've not played much of it, but what I have played, there is times where it's cheesy, maybe they'll add act or something, but it still has like a scary tone throughout, right? And that's the problem with this. Like, I don't like
Different because it's gameplay.
True, but it's not at any point like rock music doesn't hit in zombies, right? Like it has a tone of it's scary. These zombies coming after you, they're hunting you. Where this to me, if that tone is all over, I feel like my problem is I don't think the trailer is very actiony like AC/DC Hellbells. I think they took the most actiony scenes that they had in the movie and put them in the trailer to try and sell us. I think the movie is gonna be much more just horror scary, and that's what I don't like.
I don't know. I think that when we get another trailer, I think they'll focus completely on the scary vibe and the silence and the horror theme of the movie.
But then why release a trailer that's
because I
actiony?
think there
Mismarketed
is going to be a lot of action sequences, and it will have those kind of moments in the movie. But I think it will have moments like that one scene in the trailer where, like the person's running and the zombie is going like twerking out following down the hall. I think there's lots of moments like that.
I think there's lots of moments like that, but do you think they're gonna be like Hell's Bells, like actiony? Because I don't think and that's
no.
then why make a trailer that's like this then?
Because I think there'll be lots of moments when like the group is together and they're like, there's a lot of bad guys out there and only 4 of us.
But I mean with the
like
tone,
that.
like you throw AC/DC into a trailer, you get a different type of tone. Like I'm fine with them showing action shots or them of the group, but make that fit with the rest of the trailer, like thematically.
That's a great
Theatrically, like with the tone that it started and bookend the trailer. That's what I don't, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna see this expecting, oh, those good times zombie killing thing, and then it's like, oh no, it's like a really maybe possible psychological thriller at times with them experimenting on soldiers. You know, that's my problem. Is like this trailer to me feels like they're trying to trick you into seeing it because lots of people didn't go see, or lots of people didn't like the last Cloverfield movie, and it's kind of similar to that, right? Where it's not in that universe, but it's produced by that company, so like, oh, maybe we got to change it up. I don't know, but I don't know.
Well, I look forward to when we review it. It's gonna be
coming out in November.
November?
Yeah.
Perfect. So. JJ is gonna deliver.
Oh, JJ's producing it, so that's why I have to But what if he's directing a movie? Boom. Zombieland 2 coming out. Where the fuck?
Unexpected. Just out of nowhere.
So this just got released too. So obviously that news dropped earlier this week, but then today official is only 3 hours ago. Official release date October 11th, 2019. So same as the Joker month coming out. So
busy month.
It's gonna be. I can't wait. So really like Zombieland 1. I feel like this is a little too late. I think it's gonna be another maybe it kind of disappoints. I'm very surprised Emma Stone is coming back. She's not done anything like this since she's won an Oscar. It's been very Oscar-like stuff, and I just feel like I feel like there's a certain time frame when you can recapture that magic, and I think that might have expired. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the first one again, and then maybe it's just because we have so much zombie stuff going on. We just talked about one now, Walking Dead still flying along. I feel like
zombie stuff was kind of on its way out, and then we got these 2 announcements.
Yeah.
I feel like zombies did have its moment, but I feel like there's a way to redo and just not reinvent it, but just add a new, very modern kind of, just a different take to it. And I feel like Zombieland was just originally when that came out, it was a great different twist to your average zombie movie, and I feel like it could go bad in many ways, but I feel like I feel like it's something that they'll be careful with, and I think they'll come up with a unique delivery of the film. Like, I'm really curious to know exactly what the story is going to be and what actually happens.
Yeah, I could be turned around by a good trailer. My worry is that they're gonna Zoolander and Hangover 2, that the movie is just them on the road again. And if it's them on the road again, then it's like, well, we just did this. I would like the idea if they found a colony or they've created a colony, maybe the Eisenberg and Stone have a kid together now, like something like that.
A few years.
Yeah, like they have to, because Abigail Breslin is like a bunch older, the one that played the little girl now. Right. So like, they gotta skip the years no matter what.
She wasn't that young though. I think she was playing a lot younger of a character than she was.
She's like huge now though. Like, I'm not saying like
she's huge.
But I'm just saying like
she's
tall
from the
and
WWE.
you can tell. Like, she's jacked. But I want them to do something different. My worry is just it's another road trip movie, and we just kind of do same old adventures. And I do feel it could disappoint because stuff like the Bill Murray cameo, you're never gonna top that. And that's what I worry, is that they'll try and do it over. Who knows? It's they got Ruben Fleischer, the director, and the writers to come back. These are the same guys that write Deadpool, and this guy's directing Venom right now. So hopefully that's a hit, and he has a good year. So
Tom Hardy cameo
as Venom.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Zombieland, but I have to say I rewatched it. Probably it was definitely this year, and honestly on the rewatch, I've seen it a few times. I've seen it like 4 times, and I was watching it again this year, and it just wasn't hitting for me as much. So
now you're a viewer now,
Yeah, I know it's a different world I live in now. Unfortunately, I'm a lot more cynical on like most things.
Unless it's Marvel. Yeah.
Unless it's Marvel. Yeah. So, I don't know, I'm still really excited. I think it's cool that they're bringing everyone back, and I'm curious to see, but yeah, I think you bring up like these concerns which are now right at the forefront of my mind, because Incredibles 2 was
scarred you.
Exactly what I didn't want to see. And yeah, I mean, the last time I watched it wasn't as magical as I remember it to be. It is still classic, and I think there's some great moments in it. Yeah, I don't know. I think Time Jump. I guess maybe she's younger than I remember. I'm not sure. But if they're gonna have to do a nice little time jump, then hopefully there is like some interesting story going on. I don't know what kind of things you can really do with zombies. I don't know if they're like trying to find the cure in this movie.
I don't know. There's gonna be hybrid zombies in this. I'm not joking.
Hybrids. Yeah, no hybrids in the third one.
Yeah, no hybrids in Zombieland 3.
Fuck me. I don't want to say I'm excited for this movie yet. I think when I see a trailer, that will be where I get swayed. But for right now, I think this is cool. I think this is something that they could redo, and I think this one has less on the line for me than you know, something like Incredibles 2, for example. So I think even if it is kind of simple and like there's just more like, you know, funny scenes, going to some cool like, you know, like obviously one set in the first, it was fun going to Bill Murray's house, and everyone was going to the classic you know, carnival. It's a classic zombie place. So even if you just hit some fun places, you find out some more funny quirks of the characters, you get some like flashbacks or stuff of what they've been doing in the time. You get to find out more of like what does he call it, the zombie tips that he did in the first movie, you know, rule 1 cardio, something like that. And I don't know, I think there is, even if it is like kind of a retread of some capacity, I think it even with that, it could still be quite enjoyable. I think this movie in particular has potential for that. So yeah,
I think you brought a good point. If it sucks for me, I just move along. Oh, it didn't work. Whatever. It's not a movie that if it. Oh man, I really bummed that.
I don't think it's gonna sting if it's bad.
No. Anything more to add to it?
I don't think so. No, I know I've seen like throughout the past couple of years like rumors and stuff like that, and then like possibility of this.
I didn't even know this was like a thing.
Yeah, it's been talked about for a while, but it always seemed.
Under a rock.
It always seemed like it was just dead in the water. So when they finally announced that this is coming out, it's just, you know, I'm excited for it.
Under the rock, actually.
Under the rock.
Yeah. Taylor, you gonna leave yet?
I think I should probably hightail it here.
No.
Okay.
Why'd you have to say it, Travis?
Quickly defend this, because Dylan, I'm sorry I forgot to. You did not watch this trailer. I don't think you did, but new Goosebumps trailer.
Oh right.
You said it looked phenomenal. You go ahead.
I'm very sad Jack Black is not in this. I'm hoping
too. I wouldn't say that he's for sure not in it, but you go ahead.
Okay, well hopefully he is. This movie, I watched the trailer and it just got these like horror vibes from a child perspective, and it just feels awesome, and it looks so colorful and so dark, and I'm more than excited for this movie. It just I wasn't expecting it to come out really this quickly. I thought it'd still be a little bit of ways away, but I'm super stoked for it, and it just I just feel like it just looks much scarier and just better than the first one in many ways, different aspects. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I was not a fan of this trailer at all. People I've mentioned it here and there. Me and Taylor have bounced the idea around doing a Goosebumps retro one day, and maybe because this movie's coming out, we might do it. I fucking love Goosebumps. Goosebumps is a top 10 show for me. I've watched that over and over. It's one of my go-to to put on when I need to fall asleep. I called myself Slappy in elementary school for a little bit. I fucking loved this shit. The first movie that came out was like a fine, it was good enough, but it's kind of like the hashtag not my Goosebumps. I'm really disappointed by this. Any movie that adapts a book and then they're like, this story's about a story that R.L. Stine never got to publish. And it's like, oh, so you just didn't want to adapt one of the books or episodes, and you're just writing your own shitty story, which seems... The title of the movie is Haunted Halloween. Like, it's so... I'm really, like... I'm actually kind of disheartened that this is something this is kind of squad levels to me. This is something I love, and they're just adapting it, and it's so shitty. Jack Black was... And I don't say this to troll down to the gang. Like, Jack Black for me was not right in the role just because Goosebumps was about the kids and about the monsters, about the story, about them overcoming. Jack Black being his, like, overindulgent, like, high comedy. It just took away from the movie. It took away from that scary aspect. And I'm glad he's not in this one, but I think he's going to pop up because it's, like, looking for R.L. Stine, right? And he does a terrible slappy voice, too. I'm not happy with this trailer at all. I'll see it because Goosebumps. I'll see anything I want to support so we get a good movie eventually. But I get it that they're for kids, but you can still adapt some of these books. Like even the first movie, it didn't adapt any of the books. It was all the creatures out, and the first movie was like, oh, this is fun nostalgia. It's like Jurassic World for me. But this does not look good, and I'm so mad. I'm so
first
triggered.
when I heard the title, I thought it was gonna be about the 2-part series where they did
Halloween Town.
The masks.
Oh, Haunted Masks.
Yeah, that's what I thought for some reason, but that's okay.
No, it's not okay.
Hashtag not my Goosebumps.
And before you go, anything you want to quickly add on Lando? You know.
Lando, he's definitely running for his life. He doesn't want to be killed off in this movie because that's the trend. You know, they're killing off all the OG characters. So. I think he's gonna be running for his life, and he's gonna be going. So cheers.
Wow, that was an interesting send off.
like he's a drug dealer. Like how quickly he snuck off there, you know.
Ow, not really.
Okay, just
Not my drug deal.
just like Jack Black taking on the screen.
Bye-bye.
Dylan, what do you think? I know you're not a big Star Wars guy, but what do you think about Lando coming back? Obviously, we just saw him in a very successful solo
Yeah.
movie, but this is
The
obviously,
OG Lando.
Yeah, obviously the OG Lando. Billy D. Williams. So
Billy
he's coming
D,
back.
Billy Dizzle.
They've not said obviously what he's doing or the size of his role.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're bringing him back so they can have another emotional death, you know, of an OG character. But the thing with me, and why I wasn't like super stoked on Lando appearing in Solo or you know the talks of like him potentially getting his own movie is he's in the original trilogy very little, very very little. So I never really had any attachment to him. I thought he was. I don't have like I pretty much feel indifference towards him, you know. So the fact that he's coming back, it's fine. Hopefully it's like not just over the top fan service like we've seen in some other Star Wars movies recently, and hopefully it's actually meaningful and needs to be there and something they've wanted to be there since, you know, maybe The Force Awakens. Like, okay, how can we bring this character back in a meaningful way instead of just, you know, tossing him in there so you can say he's in this movie. So hopefully there's something behind it other than just like, you know, calling back to the fans, hey, remember what this series used to be?
I think that's what it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna have a big role. Because I think he's in his 80s. He doesn't act that much anymore. I think it's gonna be a hey, how you doing? And I think even though it might not be best for the movie quality, it might be good for fans because JJ's I think good at. I think he's been the best at using fan service as far as putting the movies and not feeling forced. As far as in Force Awakens, no pun intended, I felt it was used right, and like, you know, like this is a guy that could have done anything with Luke Skywalker, and he put him on a cliff for 30 seconds in his movie, right? So I think he does do well, but I think this is a movie that they want to win over some of the fan base back, and I think with Luke dead, Han dead, and now Carrie Fisher not going to be in this movie, at least we assume, you don't really have anybody to play with, so I feel like he kind of got tagged in because, well, no one... Well, okay, Luke will be in as a Force Ghost, but he's not going to be around. I think this is to give you some nostalgia vibes and to make you be like, oh, there's Lando, and he'll be maybe flying a ship or helping. He might help, I just think it's going to be like a smaller role. I don't think it's going to be anything too meaty, so...
Fair enough.
You don't know much of the roster, but this report came out last week, so Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's finally getting her solo movie moving around here.
Moving around.
They're doing Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is a team of like Huntress and Black Canary. It's a bunch of female DC superheroes. Okay. So there's not much I can ask you on that, but what I will ask you is this is, and I guess I should have brought this up.
Well, so it's not Sirens, it's a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, it's not Sirens, unfortunately. And not Batgirl either. So they've said that it's not, because they're rumored to make a sole Batgirl, so obviously they're saving her for that. Right. But I guess I should have said this when we were talking about Joker. The rumor is this is going to be rated R.
That's interesting.
The question I posed to you is, so Suicide Squad was a big financial hit. Obviously, lots of teenage girls.
Big hit for GeekVerse as well.
Yeah, it was our biggest episode at one point. And obviously, you know, in the young, like, women community, Harley Quinn, classic Halloween costume, this and that. It surprised me a little that they introduced her in a PG-13 film and they could possibly do a rated R movie. And I don't know if that's the right move. I don't know why this film has to be rated R. We'll see. Maybe there's some script and they went, oh, we really like this. But
it's going to probably feel a bit jarring if she's... I don't know, like, she's probably going to be a lot more violent in the way she's torturing and people, destroying people. And, yeah, obviously the language as well. So it might feel jarring, but I don't really care if it's better for the character and they want to do it because they think it'll make a better Harley Quinn, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and then the rumor was that the Penguin is no longer the villain in that, and there was that rumor of it was either that or the Batman. So if you kind of, you know, if you can do math, it looks like we may get to know some more on that this weekend. DC's panel Saturday, so maybe there'll be some sort of announcement.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Speaking of comic book movies, because the only transition I had.
We don't talk about that.
Samuel Jackson posted on his Instagram that he's coming back for Nick Fury. Obviously, he's already back as Captain Marvel, but he just posted it was like some business card, and it was like Nick Fury, badass motherfucker. And I think he said it was something like day one of set or something like that. So people have been speculating like what Marvel movie could have been. Lots of the signs, I think, point to Spider-Man Far From Home because I think they're shooting in England, and it's like Sam Jackson was seen in England, so lots of people assuming that. So I'm gonna lay. What would you think of Nick Fury and Far From Home, and what do you think about these chameleon rumors?
Well, I mean, another possibility really is Infinity War Part 2, right? If they're time traveling back.
I don't think so.
No.
I just think they're so down with Nick Fury in the main movies that they're just like look at.
He's coming back for these 2 movies.
But look at how he got done in Avengers: Infinity War.
Post credit. He
was the post credit. You know, you could 100% be right. I'm just saying that's my. I think it's about those core Downey, Evans, Hemsworth. You know.
Yeah, Spider-Man. That's.
Because we do know Spider-Man Far From Home, he will not be in New York the whole time. So some people speculate because
he will be far from home.
Yeah, some people speculate because it's Infinity War. I think Feige literally just straight out said it's because he's on summer vacation. It's like a field trip or something.
Yeah, no, this one's kind of interesting because you kind of look at Spider-Man and like who he takes orders from, you could say, or at least who he abides rules by is Tony Stark. So. A lot of the other characters for a while, it was like, Nick Fury was their guy. He was their supervisor. But that's not really the case for Spider-Man because he kind of came in after.
So is that a sign of Nick Fury could be on a mission, or is that a sign that Iron Man dies and he needs a new go-to guy? I didn't think about that until you said that. If he, I still think Iron Man's surviving, but, Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know. I haven't thought about that enough to say, but... I think him being on a mission would be pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Like maybe they're off doing their own things, and for some reason they like have to team up to take down a certain guy, some like small criminal they're both looking for or something. Wow, that could be cool because I think Nick Fury's a great character and Sam Jackson's a great actor. So I've been kind of wanting a little more from him. Mm-hmm. I mean I'm not too mad because he's had his heyday. He's been around the block. But he's always a fun character to see, and I think he has really good. Obviously, he has the history within the MCU. He's been there since the beginning, really, and has a lot of good relationships. And he also has like, I mean, he's not super developed, but he does have he's kind of been there through the whole Shield shenanigans, you could say.
Yeah, so, he has backstory.
Yeah, I think I'm always down to see him again. I think if he is in Spider-Man, I would predict he's in very small, maybe even 1 to 2 scenes.
Kinda
nothing
like
more than
Downey
that.
was in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably even less than that.
Well, so then I'll ask you this: as you say, taking down some small criminal. What do you think about these chameleon rumors?
Chameleon, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. That could be fun.
Yeah. My worry is the same worry I have every time after Homecoming is what is he gonna look like, and he better look like a fucking gross chrome dome, either white skin or the metal skin. Like, I need Chameleon to look fucked up. I don't want it just to be a guy who can be good at disguises with masks. And after what happened to Shocker, that's my biggest worry that they do. So if Chameleon is looking like Chameleon, I don't think they'd give him the belt.
So what if Nick Fury his only role in this movie is being something that Chameleon is posed as for a time?
Oof.
Because that's a possibility as well.
Yeah.
Because that could be an interesting dynamic because Peter Parker hasn't met Nick Fury, but maybe at this point he probably knows who he is. He probably knows of his history. He's probably seen a photo of him. He's a pretty distinct looking gentleman with the eye patch and everything.
What if it's Chameleon posing as a Skrull, posing as Nick Fury? No.
That's like Inception again.
Yeah, I don't know how they would use him. And it's another person that has been in the Sinister Six before, so it's kind of weird that you got Vulture, you got Mysterio, you got this, so maybe they are trying to set this up.
Well, there was like a small minor hint of that in...
And Scorpion 2 was in it, so... Yeah, so maybe they are leading that way. I'm a little iffy on Sinister Six, but I'm down to see the...
Why not? We have a great Shocker in the MCU right now.
Yep. And then with Nick Fury, yeah, I think it will be small, but I'm just excited to see them on screen together because they haven't shared a screen together, right? Mm-hmm. He hasn't met Spider-Man as far as we know, so yeah, I would be excited for that. So, let's see. Oh, speaking of Marvel,
maybe he's just trolling, and obviously, Sam Jackson's gonna be in the next Tarantino movie, so maybe he's actually in that, and he's like on set for that.
He's playing like his
He's not cast in that movie yet, but he's got to be.
No, he's not. He has to be. Maybe he's playing.
Maybe he's doing the voiceover again.
As Nick Fury, though.
As Nick Fury, that could be cool.
Speaking of Nick Fury, a cohort that he's been in many troubles with is Black Widow. She's officially got a director, Kate Shortland, and they announced this. So this is another movie like Joker movie that was rumored. It's happening. And then in the Hollywood Reporter, it was reported as the plot is likely a prequel. So honestly, we don't have much. I don't have anything to say on the director because I've not seen any of her work yet either. I've heard people say good things, so I'm gonna, when this movie gets closer, I like to try out their work. The thing for me that still is a little disappointing is I don't know if we need a prequel. I would have liked, maybe this is a sign that she dies in Avengers 4. I don't know, but I still like the idea of moving characters forward. I don't need to learn about Black Widow, but if this is the only way we can get it, I'll take it because I think ScarJo deserves a shot. So fair enough, do it. Wonder Woman was a prequel, it worked. Captain America was, but you know, it's looking more and more like a prequel. I'm a little bummed by that, but I'm happy it's happening. So
yeah, I mean the thing is we've gotten
first female.
She never really got her. Obviously, she never had her own movie.
No.
But we've gotten some glimpses at her past. And I thought those were well done. That was in Avengers 2.
Ultron, with the ballerina and the
the flashbacks to her life with the academy training thing, and I thought that was good. I don't know if I'd want to see a movie about that though. So, I mean, if it was a prequel, I would hope it's like after that when she's like already an established agent, and maybe it's like even a prequel, but it's like during the time the MCU is already going on. It's just some mission she went on. I mean, it might be hard to squeeze that into the giant puzzle that Feige's working on. Because like, why would that have not come up? You know. But I mean, I think the one thing everything she's done already, and starting off in Iron Man 2 and stuff, she's been around, but her identity and stuff has always been hidden. So it could be something that's within the current MCU or very close to, within like a few years in the movie time zone of in the storyline, like close within like the start of the whole MCU, and that would still be a prequel. But I would be totally fine with that, because I feel like even if they did a movie that with her that wasn't a prequel, I think it would still be fairly off on its own. Like maybe you'll see like maybe like
Hawkeye.
Yeah, exactly. Like something like
Thanos.
And something like a casual Thanos. I'm thinking like how in Ant-Man, how you get to see Falcon briefly, like something like that. Like
I agree.
See a character quickly, but I don't know. Maybe that's another chance to bring Bruce Banner back again, and maybe develop that some more. Yeah. I don't know. I think I could be convinced that I would like. I don't know, off the top of my head, I don't know if I'd want to see a movie focused on that, but I think elements of it could be cool, and obviously that wouldn't really work so well with a prequel. So that would have to be kind of current time, I would think, because that is a relationship I really want to see. We haven't really got that since he pieced off the planet for a few years, so I would like to see that as well. I'm excited for this movie because I think ScarJo's great, and the characters had, while it's only kind of been just some sprinkling of character development throughout the movie she's been in, she's still been around forever, and I don't know, I think she has a place, and I think she deserves it, so I'm excited for this.
So if it is a prequel, like to even
way
before,
back,
so at one point, because they brought up in Avengers that, she's blood on her ledger, and so there was a point where she was, Russian spy, and then met up with S.H.I.E.L.D., and then with S.H.I.E.L.D., do you think it's her Russian spy doing some shady stuff, or her meeting with S.H.I.E.L.D., or is the movie maybe about her connecting with S.H.I.E.L.D.? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If it is a prequel, I'm not sure what...
I think Russian spy could be cool, because that would be another chance for Marvel to go in a completely different direction than they've done before, and that's something I think they're trying to do a little bit more now that they have a bunch of movies and they have a lot of these characters developed. They're trying to, tread new territory while still staying in the family. So I think the Russian spy storyline is one of intrigue. I'm pretty done with S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't really need to see any more of that. I think they've done it enough. And
it's going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting more of it there anyway. So
but Coulson's coming back, so I give them I'm like, sure, let's do it. And they officially said Sam Jackson will be doing de-aging. I think they're de-aging him 25 years, so...
That'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has the fro. I want to see the fro. The Pulp Fiction fro.
I don't think he'll have that fro.
I would love to see that. I would be more inclined for the Russian spy territory. I think that could be like Atomic Blonde, but not boring.
Whoa. I'm not seeing it yet. My prediction is she'll be a Russian spy for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and S.H.I.E.L.D. will get her, and then it'll be about her converting over to S.H.I.E.L.D. because the only reason about Russian spies, I don't think they want to do a movie where she's on the bad guy side, right? Because, you know, Russia and stuff like that.
That's
but
fair. I think either way, like, I haven't been disappointed by a Marvel movie in a while, so just do what you guys want, and I'll go see it, and hopefully, it's likely that I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very, very similar in the vein, even lower than Winter Soldier as far as plot. Like how that's a spy thriller. I think this will be like that. It'll be like James Bondish. It'll be just very, and I hope they keep that. I don't want to see her taking on a Thanos. Like, I know that was a joke, but I don't want to see it. I don't even want the issue to be world ending. I don't want to be like, oh, someone got a nuke. Like, I just want her to be on a simple spy mission and like keep that lower budget. The only budget you need to do is just pay her the money she wants, and
bring back Baron Zemo. Do a ScarJo vs. Baron Zemo movie.
Just a video.
Just
that's
a
her
video.
movie. It's just like a Marvel short.
Yeah, it's a short before the next Ant-Man movie.
Before the Hawkeye movie.
Oh yeah.
I think this will be the last piece of news unless you have anything to throw out. But trailer-wise, not too geeky, but you know, we talk about film lots of times. We reviewed Chippewa recently, and we dip our toes in film community. Boy Erased. Obviously, if you know us, we're big Joel Edgerton fans.
Yes.
He's always making our way into comic book drafts, even though no one picked him this year or the year before, actually.
Oh fuck. The thing is, he's so under the radar that even I love him, and I still forget about him sometimes. Because he's a mysterious individual.
Mm-hmm.
I am regretting that.
Yeah, me too, actually.
You were saying on the comic book draft that someone picked. Was I the one that picked someone who's already cast?
No, it was Kirkland, and we can talk about quickly here. He picked an actor named Pedro Pascal. He's from Game of Thrones, and the thing was, I completely spaced that he was rumored, and they put out a press release in June, but technically, like...
Did you know about this and you just forgot?
I just forgot, yeah. So it's this thing of, like, he was... At one point it was rumored, and then he was cast, and I think...
Was it rumored at the time that we did the episode?
But we're fine to do that, right? Because, like, Gyllenhaal's rumored, and you got him, but I think... let me pull...
If it was just rumored, give Kirkland the points. He deserves it. Because that's a wild pick, I think. And if he got it, boom.
Because, yeah, it was rumored in March.
Did he double down on that guy? He didn't double down on him, right? He just picked him.
No, I can't remember who he... You talk about Boy Erased, and then I'm going to come back with...
Right, so Boy Erased, Joel Edgerton, this is him directing again.
Second movie since The Gift, yeah.
So, yeah, The Gift was a movie that came out a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, and it was one that we all went and saw in theaters. I don't think we did a review for it, did we? No,
that was back in the days where we just only like
we would casually go to movies.
Yeah, and we used to do reviews. That's when we
would do review as a news part of a news.
Yeah, Virgin podcaster when we didn't know we get the hits and clicks on separate reviews. We just threw in, if they weren't comic book or stars, we just threw them into other movie reviews. I'm like, what were we thinking? Yeah, because all these are saying like March 20. Like, look at the time date for the thing, March, and they were all like rumored, but he's still in the movie. So I think we're gonna have to get Kirkland to re-pick somebody, I think, and he's gonna be fucking salty mad.
Yeah, that's a gray area right there. I think we got to put that one on tribunal and put everyone on the council and see what happens.
We can talk about Saturday, because the other thing is, like, technically he didn't go last year, right? So this was his new thing, and like, but he didn't know he was rumored, and okay, that was the thing. It was June 13th where he Wonder Woman officially confirms film time, and that's when they put out the press release of here's who in the movie, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. So June 13th is when they said that he was officially in it, I think.
And when did we record the thing?
When was E3?
Was it E3 weekend that yeah, it would have been, yeah. E3 is June 13th. That's so close.
2018.
Some viewers might be confused.
It was June 12th to June 14th.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
So it was in the pocket right there.
Yeah, so what happens is we record this early for Patreon, but our limit is, because of Comic-Con it just released, it happened 3 days ago, it's from July 2018 to July 2019. So it's a great area because...
Rumors are fair game. I picked Gyllenhaal. And
we never thought that someone would get cast in the first 2 weeks before we released it. That's why it was on Patreon.
Yeah.
I think we kind of have to give it to him as like a...
I would say give it to him.
As a buck of the system, but next year we have to, when we cast everybody, take a break and then do a quick search. But even then it was still June 13th when it was official, right? He was rumored in March, and everyone was reporting, but it was like...
Yeah, I mean the thing is, Kirkland wasn't being disingenuous here, right? Like
Yeah.
he had no idea.
True.
It's not like maybe he should have Googled this guy and
or he's just playing it off really cool. He's like, oh,
yeah, maybe this is the turn of Kirkland. He's becoming an evil character.
Yeah, so tune in. I think Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Kirkland will be on the Comic-Con DC panel. So I'm not gonna tell him yet, and we will award him a point there because. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm coming after him with Gyllenhaal now. Put me in first because I doubled down on Jill.
Yeah.
So Boy Erased.
Boy Erased.
Anyway, so The Gift was a movie that we reviewed at some point. Probably be really hard to find that review in our archives.
Yeah, we talked about probably for 10-15 minutes somewhere.
Yeah, but we've mentioned it here or there. Anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. I think Joel Edgerton. Did he write it as well or just direct? Yeah, he did everything.
Whole
right?
shebang, produced, right, directed. He pulled the positive Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, and it was a really fun thriller, and I think from start to finish, and from beginning to end, it was a really like. What I mean by that is like the casting was on point as well. Between the other characters, like primarily, I can never remember that girl's name.
Rebecca Hall, and then Jason Bateman.
Bateman's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
He's so underrated because he's such a. I know he can play a slime ball, but like the slime is like he's so fucking
and
good.
And Joel Edgerton's character in that movie, for the viewer, is just like he's very bizarre, very confusing. You don't know, like you. He's that guy that you want to think he's a good guy so bad, and you never. I guess you. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it because I feel like it's a movie a lot of people haven't seen.
He is like the antagonist of the movie, but they give you reason to not be like, oh, he's just like a Michael Myers like killer.
And
like, it's
the
like,
way it's paced throughout the movie, and they go back and forth and they play with it, and cinematography. I feel like even the music is like memorable as like really building up the scenes, building up the music, and what I really like about it is that it's pretty simple. Like it's a basic, it's a very down to earth like.
Relatable.
Simple movie with just like a few characters that are, well developed and they bounce off each other really well.
We all have that person from school you bump into and you're like, oh fuck, they're gonna come talk
at
to
that
you.
earring,
And just the thing that I love about the movie was just even stuff when Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall are in a store, scenes before they place him in the way background, like looking at them, and they don't even focus on him. Like you have to look, and you see him other times. Like it's such a good
watchability for that as well.
Edgerton retrospective coming at you, where we just watched The Gift.
And the thing is, he's not like a big star that you see his name everywhere. He was also in what was that movie called last year?
Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night, yeah, and. Weird movie, but he's really really good in it as well. He's just an awesome actor, so he's just a very talented individual. So I'm really excited for this. I think if you put the plot of The Gift and the plot of Boy Erased next to each other, I would go with The Gift. That one's like just more interesting to me.
Yeah.
But I'm still definitely gonna go see this movie and support him because I'm sure I'll love the movie and I mean I'm not I don't go biased. If it sucks, it sucks, and that's like really unfortunate. But I don't know. There's a good chance that we're setting up for success on this one as well. And this one's interesting, different. It's based off of a book, so
which is based on a true story.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I haven't read the book, and I don't know if I will before the movie, but it'll be interesting to see like what he does with other source material, and then like how he interprets that, or how he what he wants to draw from that. Especially if it's a book, and you can never tackle everything in the book. You might have to drop some characters. And I think that's fine for his style to just focus on a few key characters and, develop them all really well. And casting throughout, I mean, I don't know the main young guy.
Lucas Hedges, yeah.
I don't know him personally, but if Travis thinks I don't know. I don't
know
his phone number. I don't call him at home. But Travis... says he's very skilled, so...
Go check out my Manchester by the Sea review. It's on the channel.
So I have faith in Travis on that one, and then Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe as the parents. I think that'll be... Yeah, it's set up for success. Big time.
Yeah, I don't mean to belittle like the concept of the film, but it's much like The Gift where it's a simple plot. Not like the idea of... I'm not saying what this character's going through is simple, but it's a simple story of a child versus his parents, right? He's gay, he's feeling his emotions. His dad, who is very heavy on religion, wants him to change his ways, so they send him to this conversion camp. That's what I mean. Like, it's a simple, like, it's a story where you can see from point A to point B where we're going, and there won't be huge twists like The Gift. But I think this will be more about, obviously there's a lot of acting going on in this trailer, like lots of people crying, lots of stuff, and I'm a sucker for that around Oscar time. But it just looks like it's going to be strong performances. And the thing about, I liked the idea of The Gift when I saw the trailers of just like, it was a good hook, right? Of like we said, oh, weirdo from school, you used to know, like everyone has that person that was like, oh yeah, you didn't really talk to them. So this one doesn't have that hook, but the thing that makes me happy is The Gift was like a unique kind of like thriller that took turns that you weren't seeing coming. And that's where with this, I think on the surface it looks like, oh, I know this movie, like, oh, he'll, you know, push away from his parents, maybe they'll make up. I don't know that just because from just the one film I've seen he's done so far, that took a simple concept and made it not so simple, right? You know, you knew you were getting from A to B, but it took a few twists and turns as we got there. Like I said, won't be as many twists and turns with this film, but it just looks very impressive. Lucas Hedges looks phenomenal in this. Yeah, it looks very Oscar baity, but I like a lot of stuff like that. Great cast. I love that I hope he always does this. I hope he puts himself in, like, it's, because I would do this, he puts himself in, like, the meatiest roles of this film, like Gore the Weirdo, and with this, obviously, he's a conversion counselor, so he's going to have...
I'm really excited to see him.
Yeah, like, he's just going to be a big piece of shit, probably, you know, like, even though the thing that I'm liking about this trailer so far is...
He's going to have layers.
He is, because I see him in the first 30 seconds of the trailer, he is the classic, like, something's wrong with you, you gotta change. But then as the trailer goes on, he still seems like he's doing something wrong as far as trying to make this kid, you know, push against who he actually is. But he's talking about, like, why do you hate your dad? Or tell your dad that you hate him. Like,
yeah, he's, like, twisting it.
Yeah, like, it doesn't look like he's just gonna be the full-on evil, hey, I hate gay people, you gotta change. He still will maybe be that, but once again, it looks like it's gonna have more layered. Even the stuff with Russell Crowe, so... Yeah, like, I know it's not like a big geek film, but we dabble our toes in this, and we'll probably do a review of this, because it's just, and I really hope it's great, because I want him to do, because The Gift, I was wrong, I thought it was a lot longer, it's only been 3 years, but I just remember The Gift, just kept waiting, like, when's he going to do another one, and I hope this is a hit, because I just want him to do more stuff, I want him to write and direct, and, you know, I
mean, The Gift as well, like, movies like that, sometimes once you know what's going on, the second time not as interesting. But The Gift, I've seen it probably three teams now.
3 times.
3 times, and it's it holds up every time. Like the suspense elements of it still get you. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to shout out? Day 1 of news coverage done.
We probably should have said this at the start, but one of our Patreon peeps, they thanked us for the HHN, the Hunka Hunka News episode.
Don't thank us for that,
and that,
Jeff.
Yeah, so, I mean, we just appreciate comments like that. You know, feedback, or just even saying, hey, this made our day. Like, that makes our day to hear that in return. So, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, we always want content. We always want comments, whether it is good, even if it's bad, but we just even want, you know, like you said, go Superhero Draft, watch that episode, tell us who you would draft, who you think your 5 actors are this year. We like to talk to you guys as much as possible.
We'd love to have a conversation with you guys, so.
Yeah, so we will be back tomorrow. Times this whole weekend, they're all going to be all over because we got scheduled. And Comic-Con isn't like E3 where it's like, hey, like,
we're not booking enough time to do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's not like, there's a world where we would do that if they stream these panels, but we don't. So the news just kind of comes out throughout the day, like today did, right? It's just kind of, oh, this poster dropped. Like, same thing. The reason we haven't talked about Shazam or Aquaman, we're all talking about that on Saturday. We can talk about the great Aquaman poster. And they're actually leather pants, not jeans, I heard, yeah.
Leather.
But yeah, so tomorrow's going to be Predator and Marvel TV, and it's Comic-Con, so a bunch of random stuff drops all the time. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet, but later on tonight, New Line Cinema's doing a panel where they have The Nun and It Chapter 2, so we might have some new trailers to talk about there. I'd be very surprised about It Chapter 2.
It trailer. That's going to be cool.
I don't think we'll get an It trailer. I think because they just started filming, you get a tease, or you might honestly just get a photo of, look, you got the adults and the kids together all on stage, but they're kicking off Comic-Con with a Scaricon, they're calling it, so...
That's a great one, guys.
So yeah,
marketing team deserves a promotion.
Lots of stuff dropping this weekend. So thank you very much for tuning in. Go down below in the description. You find all the links. And until then, it will not be boring.
Have a good night.